Hi everyone, and welcome to this little marketing roundtable. I prepared a few information for freelancers and entrepreneurs who want to get started with their marketing activities. So maybe these are a few useful tips, and then of course you can ask all the questions you want. This will just take a few minutes. It's just 3 slides. So let me just share my screen with you. Right, so I hope you can all see my screen now. Here we go. Okay, so welcome again. First thing, let's quickly talk about the website. Sometimes I get asked, hey Claire, do you recommend me to set up a website? And I always think yes, because it's just your digital business card and it just makes you look serious. And when a customer, a potential partner asks you about can you send me any link, then you have something to show. If you have no programming skills, or if you don't know anyone who can do it for you for free, because I know that we are all a bit short on cash when starting off, and especially now in this Corona time, then I would just recommend you to use a website builder. There are so many cool and very cheap, easy website builders out there. I can recommend you a few. They all have a bit different focuses, but they are more or less the same, and they are really, you can use them like PowerPoint with a kind of drag and drop system. So don't worry, you will definitely manage to do that. And for the whole website, when you build it, just don't overcomplicate things. Don't over-engineer the whole website and all the functions and functionalities. Just keep it KISS. This is what my marketing prof said back then in university. He always said, keep it short and simple. So think of your user. He's on your website for the first time. He just wants to understand, what do you do? What can you do for me? And this should be just in a concise way. Yes, again, so clean structure, and what really helps in doing the whole structure is thinking of the customer journey, meaning my customer, for example, gets to know me over LinkedIn, and then he will access my website. Where will he land? What will be the next steps? And there's a really cool way to just help your customer get the flow, like have a flow on visiting your website, go from one side to the other, just yeah. And you can do this by using call to action, which means little buttons where it says click here to access this and this info, book now, call me now, find out more, etc. So these call to actions really help you to guide the customer. So these were my 2 cents about website building, really short for those who want to get started. Now let's have a quick look on social media. I think it's useful to go on social media because it helps you to get traffic on your website. So I guess without social media, it's quite difficult at the beginning to get people to know you and your services. To have an effective social media communication, you have to know your target audience, meaning you have to know who you are addressing to and who you communicate with. And you can have a really good and full, complete image of who you're talking to if you create marketing personas. These are kind of virtual persons where you think of the whole, how old, what are his or her needs, where does the people live, how in a family, what do they eat, where do they work, what are their habits, etc. So everything you need to know about the person will be set up in the marketing persona, so that you always have a clear person in mind when you start doing some social media content, and you always think, is this relevant, interesting for my user, for my target audience? Then what I would really recommend is not to go on all the different social media channels, because there are plenty and they all work a bit differently, and you will have another follower community in all the channels. So just choose your channel. 1 or 2 are really enough, especially at the beginning when you're still on your own, and then get to know all the functionalities and all you can do with this channel to communicate with the community. Then nurture your community. Give instead of sell. If your followers notice that it's just about selling your product and look at me, I'm so great, look at my new product, etc., then I think they won't be so much into it. But if you just give practical advice, if you start creating content that really matters, then you can positionate yourself as an expert, and your target audience will be much more likely to actually click on your content and get in touch with you and book your services. What you can do with social media is create a brand personality. The website sometimes can be a bit cold, or can sometimes it's difficult to really transport or transmit a personality over a website, and through social media it's much easier. For example, with tools like Instagram, you can have a really close relationship to your followers, do stories, be a bit more personal, and everything you do that makes you more authentic and shows who you are, what you stand for, and everything that you do people can associate with or identify with. This will help you create a brand personality. Then concerning the content, it's really important to communicate with pictures and videos. I think these are much more effective than just text. And if you can just use your own pictures and videos, I know we can be really tempted by just Googling them, or use all these stock pictures, but try to use your own pictures, and these are very effective and make your whole content more authentic. One last advice on social media, which is a really practical advice: every post you do means work, means thinking, means planning. So really think of a link that you can put into your post, so that it actually leads to something and that you can have a conversion. So you write something, you link it to a page. You link it to a page on your website, which will create website traffic for you. What is really important here is to really link the right sites. So if your post is about online marketing, and especially focusing on Facebook, it's just an example, then this subpage, blog article, whatever, should really be about this. So be concise, so that the user will actually stay on your website, look into your content, and the more you write and create content about what you post, the more likely the user will actually look into more of your content. So speaking of content, this is the last slide. It's important to, through all your channels, website, social media, anything, to actually have a story and to tell the story, and to tell it consistently. So regarding the design, the wording, the story, everything you do should be consistent over all your channels. Obviously, you can be much more direct, for example, in Instagram stories, but still all of your brand personality should be the same on all the channels. If you use the same wordings, then it will stick in people's minds and they will actually know what you stand for. And the design is really important for the visual memory. So keep this in mind when creating content through all your channels. Think of a design you really want to stick with, and then try to implement it everywhere. Then when we communicate, sometimes we tend to think, oh, I can offer so many things to my customers, to my followers, but try to focus on your core services and products. Obviously, we all have many talents and many ideas on what to do next. But if you focus on what you really want to sell on your core products, then it will all be clear in your followers' mind. And the more you tell it, you show it, and you publish content on it, the best and the longest it would stick into your audience mind. Then concerning the communication, it's always good to keep your customer's point of view in mind. What are the benefits of your customers? And think really from his point of view. Why should I buy this product? Why should I book this person? And when it's really clear for them what you are doing for them, then they will be much more likely to buy or to book you. Yeah. One last thing, you will, depending on what you offer, you will have one special target audience, and you're the one who knows best who you want to sell your product to and who you want to talk to. So keep your target audience in mind. Remember, you can use marketing personas to really have a clear image of who your target audience is, and then really adapt your tone of voice. So everything you're writing and how you're communicating to this target audience. How do they expect you to talk to them? So, for example, if you talk to old people, I guess you will talk to them differently than to young people. So depending on your target audience, how old are they, etc. So keep all these things in mind, and I hope these few information will help you create cool content, have good marketing, and if you need any more help, you can reach me over my website. Bye, thank you.